So, let's pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, most debated organizations on the entire planet, the United Nations. How did it even come to be, and what does it really do? Well, we're about to find out.
Okay, to kick things off, let me ask you a simple question. Do you always get along with your family? I mean, you might live under the same roof, maybe even share the same last name, but you're still going to have disagreements, right? Of course, it's just human nature.
Okay, now just try to imagine that same idea, but on a global scale. We're talking about a world with over 7 billion people, with all sorts of different languages, beliefs, and ways of life. When you think about it like that, it's kind of no surprise that countries have conflicts. It's almost guaranteed.
But, in the first half of the 20th century, that conflict hit a level that humanity had just never seen before. It became crystal clear that we needed a whole new way of doing things to stop these global disasters.
Think about it. The world had just been through two just disastrous world wars. First, World War I, and then, not long after, a second, even more catastrophic global conflict. We're talking millions upon millions of lives lost. The scale of the suffering was just unimaginable, and it created this powerful, urgent demand for change.
And right out of all that devastation, an idea started to form. It was a really hopeful idea, to create a single organization that could actually work to keep the peace and stop future wars from ever breaking out again. And that, right there, was the core idea behind the United Nations.
And this wasn't just talk. Things moved fast. On October 24, 1945, everyone got together in San Francisco to sign the official UN Charter. Just a year later, they adopted that famous blue and white flag, which you've definitely seen, a symbol of peace for the whole world.
And at the very beginning, it started with just 51 countries, 51 founding members who all came together, united by this one common goal. But get this, fast forward to today, and that number has exploded to 193 member states. That's pretty much every single country on Earth. That kind of growth really tells you something about how important people think the UN's mission is.
Okay, so we know why it was created, but what's the UN's actual job description? What does it really try to do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, if you look at its charter, the mission is incredibly ambitious. I mean, number one is to maintain world peace, which is huge, but its job also includes building friendly relationships, helping to fight poverty and disease, and promoting human rights. Basically, it's meant to be the one central hub where everyone can come together and cooperate.
So you might be wondering, how on earth do you even build an organization to handle all of that? Well, the UN is broken down into 6 main bodies, or organs, that do the work.
These are the big 6. You've got the General Assembly, that's kind of like its world parliament. Then there's the very powerful Security Council. You also have the Economic and Social Council, the International Court of Justice for all the legal stuff, and the Secretariat, which handles all the admin work. And there was a 6th one, the Trusteeship Council, but it's not really active anymore.
All right, let's break these down real quick. First up, you've got the General Assembly, which everyone calls the Parliament of the UN.
And this is the one place where every single one of those 193 member states gets an equal voice. They all meet up in New York every year to talk about the biggest issues facing the world, hammer out the budget, and make important recommendations. Next up is the Security Council. And this is, without a doubt, the most powerful part of the entire UN. Its whole job is to maintain global peace and security. That's it. Now, its structure is what makes it so powerful. And honestly, pretty controversial. There are 15 members in total, but 5 of them, the UK, China, France, Russia, and the US, are permanent members. And this gives them this huge power, including the ability to block any decision with a veto. And whatever the Council decides, it's binding for all UN members. And, for handling legal issues between countries, you've got the International Court of Justice, which is based in The Hague. It's basically the UN's top court, and it helps settle legal fights based on international law. But hey, the UN's work isn't just about big debates and votes in New York. A massive part of its real-world impact comes from its specialized agencies, the ones that are out there working all over the globe. And I bet you've heard of a lot of these guys. You've got UNICEF, which is all about protecting the rights of kids everywhere.
Then there's the World Health Organization, the WHO, which leads the global fight against diseases and health crises.
You also have UNESCO, which works to build connections between countries through things like education, science, and culture.
And, of course, the Food and Agricultural Organization, or FAO, which is on a mission to end hunger.
I mean, these agencies are literally the UN's boots on the ground, making a difference every single day.
So when you kind of step back and look at the whole picture, from the high-level talks of the Security Council all the way down to the hands-on work of its agencies, the real mission gets pretty clear. The UN was built to be that one place where all the world's nations can come together to try and prevent war and solve our biggest shared problems.
And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. The UN was created out of the ashes of past wars to stop those kinds of conflicts from happening again. But when you look at the world right now, what do you think is its single biggest challenge today? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.